Right, 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, obviously we're here for the last face-off now. TMA Sports Network for the TMA Fight Series monster show between Kazim the Dream Beg and Liam Alford. And we're bringing the big guns. We are bringing the big guns. We have brought in Mr. Mick Crossland, who's going to put these two in their first round tonight as we go into the face-off. Welcome, Mick. It's great to have you involved on the show.
How you doing, buddy? I'm buzzing to be here. I cannot wait for this fight.
Oh, mate, it's going to be one to be. Well, it's been spoke about a lot, hasn't it? And I think it's a good show to bring back full contact after the lockdown.
Absolutely essential, mate. It's a fight everyone wants to see, and credit to you for pulling it together in such difficult times. Like, the whole world's excited for this one, so we can't wait.
Oh, mate, it's good. But should we bring the fighters in?
Yeah, let's bring them in.
So, okay. First of all, Kazim, Liam, welcome.
Yes,
How
you doing, lad? Yes, Mick. You all right?
Yeah, boys.
The last face-off, boys. And I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to pass you over to the man at the moment, Mr. Mick Crossland.
Let's do this.
How we doing, boys? You all right?
Good, yes, Mick. How are you? All good.
I am absolutely buzzing. We've got fights happening this weekend. Some of my guys are out. Nice little appetizer for the big night then coming up. Obviously, a very historical night for kickboxing. One of the rare times that organisations have been able to work together and put all the major titles on the line. Certainly all the titles that matter once you guys fight each other. I think everyone's in agreement that that is going to be the deciding fight for the undisputed full contact number one at your guys' weight, and probably pound for pound when you look at both guys' resumes. What I wanted to do just to kick off, I know a lot of people in the UK, we know a lot about Kazim on the kickboxing scene, but I know this is getting more interest worldwide. And I think a lot of people like to get to know a little bit more about Liam. So I'd just like to start with Liam and just wonder if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've done in the sport.
So myself, this is in TMA, this is only my second professional fight. So my first professional fight, we took the WK world title, went 1-0. And this time we're going to take them on and go 2-0. So in amateurs, I was fighting, when we started off, we were fighting every weekend, like I'd say Quaz was, and most people do. And I have multiple world titles in amateurs. So it was kind of the natural next step to go into the professional scene.
So you're like the Lomachenko of kickboxing then. You absolutely dominated the amateur scene, built up your experience, and then just went straight in at top level as a pro.
Yeah, that was the plan. Anyway, it worked out.
So I believe, were Dylan Chima your first pro fight then? That was your first one?
It was, yeah.
And that went the full 12 rounds?
Yeah.
And I watched that fight. You looked pretty comfortable. It got tough in the later rounds, but you held your composure really nice, looked really sharp. So watching your training videos, fitness is not going to be a big problem for you in this fight?
No.
100%. Okay. So what about you, Kaz? Tell us who you are and why you're on this stage.
Where do I start? I'll be here for about 1 hour if I had to lay off everything I've won. Same thing. Started from when I was young. Won everything that I've entered. Like, going from fighting every weekend, fighting on mats, fighting on the rings, fighting in car parks, fighting everywhere. Literally, I've won everything. Like, coming up, turned amateur, full contact when I was 16. I had 22 fights in the amateurs from 16 to 18, winning all of them. Obviously turned pro, and then I'm still going undefeated now. I fought at world level like many times. 49-0, soon to be 50-0. And no one can say they've done what I've done. So, there's levels to this.
I think it's worth mentioning, I think that's fair as well, to say that one of the other things that makes it a really historic night is that Kaz is shooting for the 50-0. It's always a famous milestone by fighters. I think Rocky Marciano went 49-0 and retired. Very few people get past the 49-0 mark. It's a big test on the mind and body to stay elite for that long. I think the full contact world at this point is in general agreement that Kazim is probably, I think it's fair to say, pound for pound recognised as the #1 fighter. So what I want to ask you, Liam, is why are you going to succeed where 49 other people have failed?
Because like to be honest, like someone could be faster than me or fitter than me or stronger than me, but I'm not going to stop. Do you know what I mean? Like I did have to knock me out cold before I take a step back. Like there's like, to be honest, like, you know, like if someone could be fitter than me or stronger than me or all around better fighter than me, but I know that I'm not gonna break my heart. I'm not gonna ease off. There's nothing they could do to put a doubt in my head.
It's interesting that you mentioned knock you out cold, because I think it's fair to say that Kazim is famous for his power. He knocks out most guys that he faces. There's a few iron chin guys like Dylan who managed to take his best shots and still be standing at the end. Is Kazim's power a concern for you?
No.
Do you feel like you've ever faced anyone throughout your career who can match some of Kazim's attributes?
Yeah, well, like, you know, he's tall. I fought tall guys. He's rangy. I fought rangy guys. But like at the end of the day, he's his own style. Like no two fighters are the exact same. But I'd say, you know, like the amount of fights that I've had throughout the years, I've definitely seen multiple, if not every style.
Yeah, you've had an extensive career, but like you said, there's not many like Kazim. But then on the other side of that, Kaz, you've got Liam. If I've watched your career from the beginning, I'm a massive fan. I love what you do, how you fight. But if I were going to design a fighter that would give you problems, it would be someone exactly like Liam. He's quick, he's slick, he's unorthodox. He's a smaller fighter, and I think sometimes smaller fighters can make that their advantage by being small, working the angles and positions. Does any of that faze you going into this fight?
Gavin, in my whole career, and that's included, in my whole career, including light contact, full contact, mat fighting, everything, I've probably faced 2 people that are probably same height as me. So everyone else has been shorter. So, you know, me fighting the shorter fighter is like, that's just normal for me. It's rare for me to fight someone my own height. So, you know, like you said, like Liam's got that mat fighting style. And being honest, when I used to fight on these mat shows, I used to just break them down real quick. I used to hit them, they used to drop. I used to hit them, they used to drop. I used to fight on the WKAs. I used to fight on the Iskas. I used to fight on the Wackos. Most of these mat fighters, they used to come with this mat fighting style. I used to hit them and they used to fall. So me fighting the shorter fighter, that's a norm for me.
In your opinion, Kaz, what would you say Liam's strengths are then? What is your biggest concern coming into this fight? What does he do well?
From what I've seen from the Dylan fight, yeah, it's fast, got good movement, but you can only have good movement if someone lets you move. And then the thing is, like, it doesn't matter how much of a good mover you are from when you're getting hit hard. You know, there's not a lot that there's not a lot of times that you can move and be taking heavy punishment at the same time. So, nothing. Like, I feel like I'm just not trying to be cocky or anything, but I just feel like I'm the better fighter in every department. And I feel like I've faced this style many, many, many times. And you know what? If you look back yourself, look through my whole career, try and find one person that's gave me a problem with this style.
That is a good point. I have watched you face all different kinds of styles. One thing I find interesting about this fight is Kazim and his team at Uska, they've been filming every bit of his training during the daytimes, and that's been going up week in, week out. I think Kazim's showing his confidence there. Do you feel like that's a mistake, Liam? Have you seen anything in his preparation that's give you an idea into how Kaz is approaching the fight, and then what you're going to do in response to that?
To be honest, like, I've seen the videos because like I get notifications because they tag me when they're posting them, but I don't really watch them. I watched like a clip of the first one, but like someone hitting the bag or hitting pads, completely different in the ring, you know, like, or even sparring, like because it's all controlled, or you know what's going on. Like fight night is different to sparring or different to pads, so I wouldn't base I wouldn't base the way he's going to come out and fight night off watching him Facebook videos. But yeah.
So you've not really studied the film or took much time. Kazim, is that a mistake on Liam's part?
Mate, what can you study from them videos? I'm hitting hard, I'm hitting fast, I'm hitting sharp, I'm hitting in multiples, I'm hitting with hard singles, I'm punching, I'm kicking, I'm hitting at every angle, I'm fighting with my hands down, I'm fighting with my hands up, I'm switching southpaw. What are you going to take from that video? And remember that what we're showing is just a fraction of my training. People are like, I'm getting a lot of feedback from it saying, oh yeah, like, you're training good. You're seeing a fraction of it. People ain't really seeing the real dog work that I'm putting behind the scenes. So yeah, like them videos are more of like a highlight. So, if someone can pick something out from it, then fair enough to them. But they ain't nothing that no one's gonna pick from them videos.
It's all well and good being able to hit pads hard, but pads don't hit back. Do you know what I mean?
Pads don't hit back, but you know what? Every sparring partner I faced, feel free to message them and ask them how they felt. Because I'll say this now, because most of my sparring partners are going to be watching this. Every spar I've sparred, I've won every single spar, and every sparring partner I've had, I've hurt them. So what does that say? I've been sparring heavier people, taller people, shorter people, stronger people. I've been sparring 70 kilo plus guys, and I've been hurting them, been denting them. So what does that say? Pads don't hit back, but like what I do on the pads and what I do in my training, I always transition it into my fights.
Liam, Kaz is very, very confident. You can hear the confidence in his voice, and he's got every right to be. He's a proven entity in the sport. Who do you feel's got the most to prove in this fight? Who's got the most pressure on their shoulders?
Yeah, see, Kaz has all the pressure. He's going for a big 50. He's all his belts on the line. Where I have no pressure.
Mick, I do not do pressure. You know me personally. I don't do pressure. I don't get nervous. I don't do pressure. I thrive off that. I thrive off my unbeaten record. 49-0. And I say this every time. No one can, at my weight in the world, can beat me. It's as simple as that. I train in like this is my 50th fight. I'm training my 50th fight. I've trained in my first fight. My hunger's even more now. And like, everything, my whole life is kickboxing. I wake up kickboxing. I eat kickboxing. I sleep kickboxing. I even walk the dog kickboxing. I'm walking the dog and thinking about kickboxing. So come on, I don't do pressure. You should know that.
Liam, obviously not a lot of pro experience despite your amateur background. Impressed everyone when you done the 12 rounds with Dylan and did a good job outboxing him as well. And you beat him before Kaz did too. But you can hear Kazim's confidence. We've seen the work that he's done. Have you made a mistake in this fight going into the Lion's Den and agreeing to come over and fight him on his turf?
No, not at all. Not at all. We did it last time. We've done it multiple times before. Going into their back garden, beat them at their own game, come home with the belts. They're going to shock the world now in 3 weeks.
I think it's fair to say, I think shock the world's a good term, because I think most of the kickboxing world recognises Kazim as the favourite in this fight. Obviously, he's got more pro experience. How would you compare Kazim to your other biggest win of your career, Dylan? What would you say the difference in the two is?
Yeah, well, obviously there's more eyes on the fight. It's a bigger, say, achievement with the belts on the line. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter what belts are on the line. It doesn't matter how many eyes are on the fight. When it's me and Kaz in the ring, all that matters is getting the better of them round by round, minute by minute.
Do you see this being a long fight?
It all depends. One punch could change any round. One punch could change the whole fight.
Have you got the power to hurt Kaz? I've never even seen him rocked in a fight. Can you be the first one to hurt him in a fight?
No chance. I'll answer that for you, mate. There's no way Liam is hurting me. I've come up with people that hit 3 times as hard as Liam. And you know what? First name, top of my head, Ronnie Clark. Ronnie Clark went on to win, European title in professional boxing. Hit 3 times as hard as Liam, and he couldn't hurt me. He had 10 rounds to do. You know what? He had 15 rounds to do because I fought him twice. Ronnie couldn't hurt me, so there's no way Liam's gonna hurt me. No chance.
We'll see
Like
now
you
in
said,
3 weeks.
Yeah, we will. That's the thing. You're not a big hitter.
100%.
I'll tell you that to you. You are not a big hitter. You cannot hurt me. I will put my hands down and let you punch me in my face, and you still won't hurt me.
Yeah, we'll see now. That'll be a big mistake. Make your words.
49 other people have tried to make me eat my words, but you know what? What's happened every single time?
So it's getting a little bit heated coming into the fight on the night. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of attention around this. The energy is going to be electric. I'm going to be ringside, and I cannot wait for it, to be honest. What's going to be going through your mind, Kaz? Because we're talking your 50th fight, 50-0, making history in the sport, unifying the titles, which I know has been a lifelong dream. The pressure's on, everyone's there. What are you going to be thinking at that moment when the first bell goes?
The same thing I think every single fight. Aim, seek, and destroy. That's it. Like I say it doesn't matter who's in the opposite corner to me. I will walk through everyone who's in the opposite corner like the same way. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what style they bring, what they bring to the table. I know what I do. I know what I'm capable of. I know how hard I train. I put everything in every single fight camp. I don't leave no stones unturned. So the round one is the same thing, that the same mentality I'm going with every fight. Aim, seek, and destroy.
So you've heard it there from Kaz, Liam. He's coming in. He likes a knockout. He's going to be coming aggressive. What are you going to do that is going to upset and offset what Kazim's going to be presenting?
See, I was watching Kazim's last fight against Chima, and he was picking him off with a jab, and he was leading everything up. But like, Chima is obviously a world-class fighter. Credit to him, but I feel he didn't have enough movement, and he was kind of like just standing there, and Kaz was picking him off. But I feel that I've got the speed and movement to upset his rhythm, and then I'll capitalize on that. Then I'll get into my rhythm and push him back.
So you mentioned the fight with Dylan. I watched both fights very recently as I'm starting to get excited for you two matching up. In your opinion, Liam, both Dylan's like a wicked fighter, probably the UK #1. I think at the time, just before you beat him, Kaz had been inactive at that time. And I think everyone regarded him as the main man at the time. And you come out of nowhere, straight out the amateurs and beat him. In your opinion, who did that in better style and why?
Who did it in better style? Well, I'd say I did, because I went the distance. Obviously, we both went the distance, but say I was obviously the massive underdog. Nobody knew about me. Like, came out as an exciting fight, toe to toe, and I just feel I landed more punches. Obviously, Kaz peppered him with the jab, but I think I landed more power shots.
Do you think your power is going to be a factor against Kazim?
Yeah, 100%.
And what?
I think it's really underestimating me when he's saying that I don't have power, or he's had people with 3 times as much power. Because how could he possibly know?
I don't underestimate anyone. If I underestimate him, I wouldn't be training the way I do. I wouldn't be training 3 times a day, 6 days a week, every single week. I've been in camp now for 10 weeks. I don't underestimate anyone. If I underestimate someone, I wouldn't be training the way I do. I wouldn't be living the lifestyle I do. I wouldn't be making the sacrifices I do. So I don't underestimate anyone. But I'm experienced. I've been in the game a long time, and I'm speaking from facts. Like, I'm speaking from words coming out of people that have fought you, saying about your power. So, you know, that's not me making up. That's from people that have fought you. So, like I said, people, I've never been hurt in all my fights. Never been hurt, and that's light contact, full contact, mats, ring. I've never been hurt. So you're not going to be that man to hurt me. No chance.
We'll see now in 3 weeks.
We will.
So it's coming up, guys. and all the talking's almost over. We're putting the finishing touches on what has been a long camp for both of you. I'll ask you individually, and I want to know, like, what's the outcome going to be on the night? Not just who's going to get the W, but also how's the fight going to go? How's it going to end? What are we going to see? Kaz, I'm going to ask you first.
What are you gonna see?
Yeah, what we're going to see on the night. How's it going to unfold on the night?
It's gonna be a beatdown. That's the simplest way I can say. This fight is gonna be a beatdown. It's not gonna be a game of chess. It's not gonna be a cat and mouse game. It's gonna be a beatdown in every department, close quarter, long range, in every way. This fight is gonna be a beatdown. This fight, and like you said, it's my 50th fight, so I'm just gonna prove to everyone why I'm 50 and up. Because the performance I'm looking to put in is like, that's just gonna cement me as being the number one. No one can even try and question it. Like I said, when I come back, I said I want to fight all the relevant names, all the people with the titles, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not taking no easy touches now. Like when we got offered the Dylan fight, we accepted it. We got offered the Liam fight, accepted it. Because I'm gonna prove to everyone why there's levels to this. Like everyone talks about levels, everyone thinks they win a world title and that's it, the world class. That's not world class. There's levels to this. I've been at this level for a long time, and right now I'm better than I've ever been before. Ever been. I'll probably say that every fight, but just from my training videos, I've never been at the level I'm at right now. I've never even trained the way I have now. The camp I'm putting in for this fight, I've never done that in my 50 fights. I've never done that. So this is going to show another level to what I've already shown.
Liam, is this the biggest fight of your career so far?
Yeah, it would be, yeah, 100%.
If you look back through your back catalogue of fights, the things that you've done in your career as an amateur and a pro, can you see anything in your career that shows you why you are confident you can beat Kazim? Like what have you done? Who have you faced that matches the skill set that he's bringing on this fight?
Just because like he's basing like my strategy off, say, Dylan's fight, but that was just one fight. Like I fought in like completely opposite styles to that fight. If my opponent had a different style, so like if Dylan was a different fighter, you would have seen a different Liam. See, he hasn't seen. I'd have more tricks up my sleeve than just going in brawling. Do you know what I mean? And like it's been multiple times that I've had to go into someone's backyard for a world title, because in Ireland, there's not much going on, so we always have to travel, and we always upset them, can bring home that belt, and that's exactly what's going to happen again.
But you're still not answering the question. Have you fought someone? Have you fought someone who's bringing to you what I bring?
And what's that?
Just you've seen my fights, you've seen what I bring. So have you fought someone who does what I do?
Kaz mentioned that his fights with Ronnie Clark, and one of the toughest ones of his career. Ronnie was a big hitter. When you look back through your career, who's prepared you for this moment? Which of your opponents can you say, yeah, I've dealt with that kind of power, I've dealt with those experienced fighters? Who can you compare Kaz to in what you've already achieved?
Like all of them, like there's not one opponent was, say, Quasim's style, but like each opponent has their own attributes. And like I fought rangy fighters, I fought power fighters, I fought kickers, I fought boxers, and I've came out on top every time. So like no matter what Kaz says his attributes are going to be, I've no doubt that I've come across it before.
What do you, in your opinion, there's plenty of footage on Kaz throughout his whole career, he's always been open. What are his weaknesses?
His weaknesses? He throws a lot of the same combinations, like repetitively. So like I feel I'll be able to capitalize on it and time him.
So you are a fighter that's known for your timing as well. So you think that's going to be one of your strengths coming into this fight? Yeah. Does Liam's speed and timing concern you at all, Kaz?
No, of course not. Like I said, speed and timing can only come into it if I let him do that. So speed, like I said, like, you know, that style that Liam brings, it's like you can say it's a generic mat fighting kind of style, like a bit like a light contact kind of style. So like I said, people are I used to deal with them every weekend, sometimes twice a weekend, sometimes 3 times a weekend. So that style, like I've seen it a million times. They
But see,
you know
that's
what,
what I'm
I'll
saying,
just
but
put,
you don't know my style. You don't
of course,
know.
I used to
You,
face
you
your I
don't.
used to face your style every single weekend on all these opens, and I used to just break them down.
But
People
you
used to
don't
come
know
with that
what
style,
I'm
and
going
I
to
used
bring
to
to
just
the
break them
table.
down. I did.
You
You cannot. You cannot change a lot from what you already do. You cannot do it, and if you do change it, it's going to be your biggest mistake. So that's it. Like I said, you know, most people say, "Oh, they're going to come and brawl with me. They're going to come and stand." You stand in front of me and brawl with me, you're going to get knocked out. Seriously, you are going to get knocked out. Are you a bigger hitter than me?
yeah. I,
You're
I,
a
would- I
bigger
would
hitter than
consider
me.
myself a bigger hitter than you. Yeah.
You stand in front of me, you will get knocked out. It's as simple as that. That's not even. I'm not even just saying it because I'm a confident fighter. Look back. People stand in front of me, they get knocked out. And then what you're gonna do? You're gonna move until I chase you and catch you. So
Liam, is Kazim underestimating you a little bit?
100%. 100%.
I've just said it's not underestimating. It's not
But
underestimating.
it is though.
It's
It is
my
100%.
confidence. It's a confidence. That's what it is. It's not. I'm not underestimating him. I'm confident in what I can do, and I feel like it doesn't matter. This is why I say every opponent. I don't care what they bring. I feel like I can deal with it. I can adjust like this. I don't just have an A. I don't just have an A plan. I have an A plan, B plan, C plan. Whatever a fighter tries to bring to that ring, I can adjust to it like this. Dylan brought something that was different to what we expected, but within the first round we switched still. That was not the Dylan that we was training for. We based a camp around a whole different Dylan. But you know what? When he did bring something different, we just adjusted and we dealt with it.
How would you compare your respective performances against Dylan? Because obviously both guys have done 12 rounds with him. What did you think about Liam's win over him, which he'd done before you as well, compared to how you beat Dylan?
Well, both the fights are on YouTube, so you know what? People can make their own like judgments on it. But if you just watch both of them fights back to back, their fight was real close, real close. Like me, I'm not just saying it now because I'm fighting Liam, but I've sat back and I've watched that fight, and obviously every judge is different. People judge fights different, but me sitting back and watching that fight now, I think Dylan was landing the better work and the cleaner work. So yeah, Liam stole some of the earlier rounds. It was a close fight. A lot of rounds could have gone either way, but at the end of the 12 rounds, none of them fighters knew who had won. But when I fought Dylan, I knew. But when that final bout went, I knew it was conclusive. But their fight was like it was back and forth and could have gone either way. Mine and Dylan fight weren't. It was one way. So if you watch that fight back now and judge both of them, some fighters would probably give their fight, Liam and Dylan's fight, to Dylan. Some people would give it to Liam based on styles and what they like. But you can't do that with mine and Dylan's fight. You can watch that. It doesn't matter what judge you are. You watch that fight and you know it's one way.
Liam, you talked a little bit like you feel that Kaz is underestimating you a little bit, and then what he's done there, he's just talked about your biggest victory of your career, and he's kind of undermining it. What he's telling you is, like, some other judges might have even gone against you on that fight. How does that make you feel when you're 2 weeks out of facing this man in the ring that is disrespecting your biggest win?
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't care what he says. Like, as in, like, he could talk the talk, he could talk a load of bollocks, whatever he wants to say. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to meet me in the middle of that ring and prove it.
The way you're talking, are you planning on going toe-to-toe with Kaz?
I'm going to do whatever I have to do to win that fight. If toe-to-toe works, then toe-to-toe it is. If moving around works, then moving around it is. We're going to go into round one. We're going to touch gloves, and then we're going to assess it from there. And then no matter what happens, I'm confident I'm going to come out with the win because I know I'm going to do whatever it takes to win.
So, Kaz, Liam wants this bad, a lot of passion, a lot of heart, and he's coming
Yeah.
with a lot of confidence. He's going to upset the apple cart. You're coming in, 50th fight. You've got to get it done. You want to be 50-0. It's all the marbles. I think the only world title that's not up for grabs is the WKA, which Liam holds anyway. So between you, you've got all the belts. Undisputed #1 full contact fighter, potentially at any weight, coming out of this fight. It's all on the line. How much pressure is on you in this fight, and can Liam do? Is there a possibility you could have a bad night and Liam can do what he says he's going to do?
Mate, even on a bad night, I'll still win. I still like my one thing I always say. I always find a way to win, no matter what. I've been through the trenches. I've had fights like a lot of stuff people don't even know. I've been in fights and broke my hand in the first round, and I've still fought 12 rounds to win, and I've won conclusively because you know what? Once I'm in that ring, there's no way I'm coming out of that ring without the win. Like I said, I'll find a way to win no matter what. I'll do what
So
I have
what we've
to do.
got here, it's the irresistible force versus the immovable object, because we've got Liam starting off saying he's got the heart and the desire, and anything that Kaz presents, he's going to find a way through. Kazim's telling us he's got the same, and he's shown us he's got the same, fighting through broken hands. I've seen him beat every kind of style. I know he'd rather break every bone in his body than lose that fight. So ultimately, Liam, going back to the original question, you said that your heart is going to get you through, but it sounds like Kazim is going to match that, and he's got equal amount of desire. So again, it comes down to skill. So what's the difference going to be in this fight, Liam? I mean, when we talk, let's talk logistics, let's talk strengths and weaknesses. What is the difference on your side that you're going to bring that changes the outcome than every other fight that Kazim's had?
Pressure, pace, and fitness. Like I'm gonna set a pace from round 1 straight to round 12. You seen him in Dylan fight. I didn't slow down for 2 seconds, and I just don't think Kaz can keep up with that pace. I don't think he'll be able to keep up with my pressure.
That's an interesting insight into both guys' fight plans. So we've got two guys who want it bad. Go, Kaz.
Ain't that the same thing? Ain't that the same thing Dylan said? Dylan said Dylan was questioning me going 12 rounds. So what was Dylan saying? Dylan was saying he's gonna set a high pace. He's gonna keep the pressure on me. He's gonna wear me down. He's gonna slow me down in the later rounds. And he thought like he's gonna bring
I believe styles make fights, and I think style-wise, Dylan matched up better with you. Like Dylan's timing, I don't think matches Liam. I think Liam's got great timing and precision, so he's going to be doing things that's going to try and offset you differently to how Dylan did.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But it's like what Liam just said. He's going to bring pressure, pace, and a work rate. But that, you know what? Every single opponent tries to bring the same thing. But it's all right. It's all right trying to say you're going to bring that pressure and pace, but you can't bring that when you got poleaxes coming at your face. So, you know, it's all right trying to walk forward, but trying to walk through these two and these two down here. Then it's a different story. And when them big, heavy shots start landing, then we'll see, you know, how many fighters are going to keep walking forward. So I know, like, that's the thing with Liam. If Liam comes forward, as soon as he starts running onto shots, he's going to know about the power. And I promise you, he will not be able to walk forward for 12 rounds. That's a promise.
Do you see this being an early night for you, Kaz?
To be honest, now I don't think about, like, you know, when I'm going to stop someone, or how, like, if I think I'm going to stop someone. I just feel like when the time's right, and it's one thing I've always had, like, from early, like, I've got like a killer instinct. Soon as I smell blood, that's it. I know that I've got them. Soon as I've hurt someone, you know, it's game over from there. Like, there ain't many people that I've hurt and haven't finished off. So that's the thing. I feel like, you know, as soon as, whether it's in the first round, whether it's in the 12th round, as soon as I smell blood, that's it. It's game over. Then it's like you know, trying to stop. How do you stop something coming at you? Someone who can box up both hands, kick up both legs, can mix up hands and legs, hits hard or hit fast. So how do you stop that?
So final questions then. What's the deciding factor in this fight for you, Kaz? Is it that you've got every base covered? Is that going to be the difference?
Deciding factor. Okay. Experience, no one can question that. I feel like, I've faced this style many times. And then I feel like I'm and this is not even being arrogant, this is just confident. I feel like I'm better than Liam in every department. I feel like I'm better long range. I feel like I hit harder. I got longer limbs. I feel like I'm stronger. I feel like I'm better on the inside. Me and you have sparred a few times. So I feel like I cover every basis. I don't just rely on one thing. I work on everything. So my honest opinion is I feel like I'm better than Liam in every department.
I think it's like Kaz said, that's not arrogance. That is just confidence because he's proven. So he can point to a fight. He can point to times throughout his history where he's proven all the statements that he's making. And I think that's the biggest question mark over you, Liam, despite an unbelievable amateur career, still limited on the pro side. So I think for a lot of people, for anyone to beat Kaz, it's a mountain to climb. But to be coming in your second pro fight, only having done 12 rounds once, you have got an uphill battle and you will be shocking the world. So what for you is, what's going to be the deciding factor? What's going to be different about your approach? What can you show us on the night?
I feel like you were saying that I'm taking this on my second fight. That's how confident we are. That like we're confident going into Dylan fight, first pro fight. Most people would take an easy fight. We said no bother. We're confident that we are world number one. And the same with this. We got offered a fight straight away. We said yes. And like he hasn't seen what I have to bring to the table. So like I think he's really underestimating me, thinking he has every base covered, thinks he's better. Yeah, he's going to be in for a rude awakening now in 3 weeks when he realizes he doesn't have every bases covered. He's not better in every scenario.
So we've got the stage is set. We've got young lion versus old lion. Not as old as me yet, Kaz, but been around for some time. And I, for one, cannot wait for this fight. I just want to thank you boys for this time that you've spent giving us a bit of insight into each of us mindsets as we approach the fight. And I'll be watching with a keen eye on the night. Good luck to both lads. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mick.
See you later, Mick. See you in 2 weeks, Liam. Sleep tight, boy.